Hey everyone, today we're going to try to answer some questions about the Ego 56 volt lithium ion Power Plus batteries. These are some questions that even after a few years of these things being out on the market, we still see pretty often. And we want to help you guys understand a little bit better how to get the most out of your batteries and give you some more specifics about all of that. So, the first thing is, let's start with the big question. Everybody wants to know, how long will these batteries last? And when they say how long will they last, usually you would tell them, oh, well, you could run a trimmer with this thing for 45 minutes or what. But what they're really wanting to know is, how many years do I have to replace this battery? Because this is not going to be a cheap battery to replace, as far as when you look at buying a battery compared to buying a whole nother kit with a piece of equipment, a battery, and a charger in it. So they want to be able to buy with confidence, knowing that this battery is going to last them for quite a while. Well, these batteries, as far as Ego says, are rated for 800 to 1,000 charge cycles, and that is before you will see any kind of lowering of the runtime that you'll get out of one of these batteries. So that means this 2.5 amp hour battery here, if you can put this in your string trimmer and you can run that string trimmer for about 45 minutes, that is the consistent runtime you're going to get out of that piece of equipment for 800 to 1,000 charge cycles, if properly maintained, before you will see it drop to only lasting you about 25 minutes using it in that same piece of equipment and doing the same job. Follow me there? It's a little tricky, but stick with me. We'll explain this more as we go. So, 800 to 1,000 charge cycles, if properly maintained. Now, what does properly maintained mean? Because obviously there's no air filter or spark plug or oil to change in one of these, right? So how do you maintain this battery? Well, number one, you start with using the proper battery charger. This is the CH5500 rapid charger. This is the one you'll get with your bigger pieces of equipment, I should say. Snowblower, push mower, self-propelled mower. They'll come with this because they're trying to charge bigger batteries, 7.5 amp hour batteries in the self-propelled mowers, and the two 5.0 amp hour batteries, or two 7.5 amp hour batteries in the snowblowers and things like that. So this is the CH5500. There's also the CH2100, which is that smaller black charger you will get with a kit, for a string trimmer, where you would get the 2.5 amp hour battery, that small black charger, and your string trimmer. That is a bit slower charger. It does the job, but takes a little bit longer. Now, the rapid charger can be used with any of the Ego batteries. So if you get a self-propelled mower and you have that 7.5 amp hour battery, and you also have a string trimmer or a leaf blower or a hedge trimmer that has the 2.5 amp hour battery, you can put this on here and it will charge this 2.5 amp hour battery, and it's going to charge it way faster than that CH2100 battery charger would charge this. If you really want to, you can do it the opposite way, and you can put your 7.5 amp hour battery on that CH2100. It's going to take quite a while for it to charge it up, but it will do it. Now, those are the only chargers you should be using to charge your batteries, aside from, and this is the little asterisk here, the Ego Nexus Power Station. So, unless you own an Ego Nexus Power Station, again, CH5500 rapid charger or the CH2100 little black charger are the only things to use to charge your batteries with. Okay, so when do you charge your batteries and how do you charge them? That's going to make another big impact on how many charge cycles you get out of one of these batteries. When you get one of these batteries in a kit or as a replacement, it's probably going to be around 50% fully charged. So the old generation 1s and 2s like this, you don't know. It just lights up green. There's something in there. Could be 25%, could be 99%. We don't know. Really, the only way to tell on these was to stick it on the CH5500 rapid charger, and one of the lights here would tell you whether it was 25, 50, 75, or 100% charge. So that was why everybody was so excited about the fuel gauge on the batteries, because you stick this on there, it's at 25 or 50%, you're probably going to let it charge up and go the rest of the way just so that way it's good. Well, there you just put this battery through another charge cycle. So now you're cutting down, you're cutting into that 800 to 1,000 charge cycles you would have before the battery would start to have shorter run times. So that can be avoided, again, if you have the newer batteries with the power gauge. Then you don't have to put it on here and see. Or if you have these older batteries, you put it on there, you see it's 75%. Don't bother charging that thing up the rest of the way. Take it off and use it. Now, you don't want to charge these batteries anywhere where there's a lot of moisture or dampness or anything like that. You don't want to charge them anywhere near a pilot light that's burning, a wood stove, or any other kind of open flame, because as with all batteries, they will emit some fumes that are potentially flammable and could cause some nasty things to happen. Just put it that way. You also don't want to leave your battery just sitting on your charger for days and weeks and months at a time. This is not good for the battery management system. As soon as that's charged, take it off and let it go and do its thing to store away if need be, or just have it sitting there for 2 days later when you want to use it again. For storage and for charging, they recommend that you keep these at a decent temperature. When I say decent, I mean they have a range of like 32 degrees to 104 degrees, but I think at one point in there it does say you want to have them stored at a place that's 80 degrees or less. So I would recommend, as far as your charging and your storage, try to be about that 45 to 75 degree, maybe 80 degree area, not that whole wide 32 degrees to 104 degrees. The more of a balanced or just comfortable climate that you have these, or a comfortable temperature that you have these batteries at, the better it's going to be for the cells inside. You should also not charge them or store them away in anywhere that has a lot of dampness or is prone to moisture and things of that nature, because it's going to cause, if you have a lot of moisture around these things and they're not being used in a charger or a piece of equipment to keep the air flowing through them, that moisture is just going to build up in there, and you can get some corrosion, you can get some condensation building up in there, and that's going to affect the way that the batteries are used, the way the batteries charge, and again, cut down on your amount of charge cycles before you have issues with this battery and have to replace it. Now, on the subject of temperatures, if you've ever had a thermal issue with a battery, or seen that where you get the orange light on the battery here where you have your green light, then you know that this battery was overheated. And that can happen in stuff where you're just drawing the power out of it really fast at a maximum load. Can't really think of any examples off the top of my head, sorry. Maybe in a leaf blower or something like that. But you're drawing the power out of the battery really fast, and it's causing the battery to get hot. And that's where you'll get that orange light. And that orange light comes on when the temperature exceeds 158 degrees inside this battery. And it will shut down then to protect the battery, the cells, the circuitry, all that stuff. And it will be able to function again once it gets down to 152 degrees. Now, I don't really recommend, just because it went from 158 down to 152 degrees, that, let's start everything back up and go to town again. I would let it cool down a little bit longer than that, personally. I say that because if it's at 152 degrees and it just came down from 158 and it didn't take you that long to get to 158, what's going to happen now that you're already at 152? You're just going to overheat this battery again, and it's going to shut down again. The more times you do that, the more damage you're going to end up causing to the battery because of overheating the cells like that. If it does happen from time to time, it's a natural thing. That's why they have that orange light on there. That's why they have the system to protect it. But you don't want to just say, all right, orange light, I'm going to wait 2 minutes. Yep. Green light again. Let's go. Oh, orange light again already. Wait another 2 or 3 minutes. Orange light again. that's just, you're just going to keep overheating this battery and just fry it. And that's going to cost you a lot of charge cycles there. Now, on the other end of that spectrum, if it is too cold outside or wherever you're trying to use these batteries at, they will also act up on you. You will get what they call in the manual a pulse if you're trying to use these in a temperature that is below 32 degrees, where it'll power up, shut down, power up, shut down, kind of a surge. And it will do that. They're made to try to warm themselves up to get to the proper temperature to be able to work. But that's something else you want to try to avoid as much as possible, because again, you're just overworking the battery. The specified temperatures for the batteries in the manual is 32 degrees to 104 degrees. So yeah, the snowblower is going to be the big one that you're going to use in those cold temperatures. But that doesn't mean that you have to start out with the batteries already, well below that 32 degree mark. If you got the batteries and the snowblower stored away in your garage or your shed, whatever, before you go to use everything, move it into an area where it's, about 50, 60 degrees so that they can be at normal operating temperature before you try to use them. This is going to help, again, prolong the life of your battery. If you are using your snowblower, and I'm guilty of this kind of stuff, if you use your snowblower and you clear everything off, but it's still snowing, and you say, well, I'm going to come inside, get a drink, maybe eat a sandwich, and I'll come back out in a half an hour and get back to it again. You know what it's like when it's 32 degrees or below outside and you come into a warm house and you eat something. You're probably falling back asleep again, take a little nap there. Next thing you know, you go outside, there's the snowblower sitting there under a pile of snow, completely frozen. And that's a situation where you might try to just start it up and start going, and you would get this pulsing, and it would eventually warm up and be able to use the power from the batteries. There's also the potential for it to not start up, and that's where you would want to, again, just get the batteries out of the snowblower, move the snowblower and the batteries to somewhere where they can thaw out and get to that between 32 and 104 degree temperature so that they're good to go. Now, you also want to avoid using any kind of solvents or anything like that, or blowing compressed air through these batteries. And you might say, well, why would I ever do any of that? Well, if you have one of these out, you're using it, and you drop it, or you drop the battery or the piece of equipment, whichever, or you have the battery laying somewhere and something gets thrown on top of it, you get some mud or something like that caked down in here. You don't want to be going and spraying harsh chemicals down in here or trying to blow it out with an air compressor to clean that out. You do want to keep these vents here and on the inside cleaned out, because that is where this battery gets its airflow to stay cool, and is again going to extend the life of the battery. The cooler this battery can stay when it's being operated and charged, the better. Now, when you put this on this rapid charger, you can see that it has vents right here in this charger, which coincide with the vent holes right here in the battery. So you put that on there. This charger is actually going to pull air through the battery and back out the other side here. There's a fan. When you plug one of these babies in and you start charging a battery, you'll hear it. Not the quietest thing in the world, but it's actually going to keep that battery cool while it's charging, and that's how it can charge it so fast, because it's keeping it cool while it's doing it, and it's not just overheating the cells. The other charger takes a while to charge these up, because you can't put too much power to it at once, or it will just overload those cells, and you could be looking at a real big mess then. Okay, so you follow all those things that we just told you there, as far as charging the batteries, maintaining them, proper service of them, the whole 9 yards, whatever else you want to call it. So now you're still wondering, well, you're telling me that I'm going to get 800 to 1,000 charge cycles out of this if I follow all those steps. and do this properly. And even if I would from time to time not do everything completely properly like that, I should still get quite a few charge cycles out of this. But what does that mean? How do I know how many years this is going to last before I replace it to let me know that it's worth purchasing this unit and this battery and just converting over to battery in general? Well, we'll break this down for you here as far as charge cycles and the amount of time you use your equipment. Here we're going to give you an example of how to figure out the amount of charge cycles for a battery that you would rack up in a year to then help you figure out how many years this battery should potentially last you based on that 800 to 1,000 charge cycles that Ego says you can get from these batteries. So using some random estimated numbers here, you can see how you can figure this out. If it takes you 60 minutes to do your string trimming with your gas-powered string trimmer, then you know it's going to take you a good 60 minutes to do the same string trimming with one of the Ego Power Plus string trimmers. Now, we have one here, 45 minutes of battery runtime from the Ego Power Plus battery in that string trimmer, because that's normally what we get using the carbon fiber shaft trimmer. So if you're getting 45 minutes, heck, even if you're only getting 40 minutes or 35 minutes, you know you're still going to need 2 charge cycles that week to do your string trimming based on that 60 minutes it takes you with your gas-powered string trimmer. So right there, you have 2 charge cycles per week just by using your string trimmer. Now here in my area, most landscapers will tell you we get about 28 to 32 weeks a year of mowing. So if you take that 32 weeks a year and you know you're going to have at least 2 charge cycles per week, right there you've got 64 charge cycles a year for just using your string trimmer for string trimming. So you take that 64 charge cycles a year that you're estimating that you'll get for just using your string trimmer with that battery, then throw in another 60 or so miscellaneous charge cycles per year for using things like the Nexus Escape for powering some lights or charging a phone or whatever, for using that same battery in your leaf blower to rotate them, while one that came with your leaf blower is charging, you can throw this one in there. Or if you have the Ego Power Plus self-propelled mower, maybe it takes you a little bit longer to do the mowing than what that battery lasts. You can throw this battery in there to make it another 5 minutes or so. Just random things like that. Hey, maybe it gets to the point of the year where you got more weeds growing, they're thicker, they're heavier, or you went on vacation, you come back, you got more string trimming to do. So you need 3 charge cycles in that, 2 or 3 week period there. Trust me, you're going to end up with more than just those couple extra charge cycles that you would think of. You're going to end up with more of them once you start using this equipment more often and rotating batteries around, especially when it comes to like the leaf blower, maybe even a chainsaw, or if you're using that battery as like an additional battery on an Ego Nexus power station or something like that. So even with doing that, here you can see if we throw in 60 extra miscellaneous charges a year, we're still only at 124 charge cycles per year. Now again, remember, these are just random numbers that we're picking here and plugging in. It's estimations. Everybody's going to have their own situation. So you're going to take the numbers that you have from what you do a week or a year, with your landscaping around home there, and plug those numbers into this to figure out your average charge cycles per year. So now if we go to the low end of that charge cycle expectation from Ego, and we go with the 800 charge cycles, and we're averaging 124 a year, that's almost 6.5 years this battery will last you. That's pretty good. That's 6.5 years of not buying gas, not buying mix oil, not buying air filters, not buying a spark plug, not buying a fuel filter, not having carburetor issues and that kind of stuff. That's a pretty good deal right there when you break it down like this. So now you know that if you do invest in this string trimmer or a leaf blower or a hedge trimmer or, whatever the tool is, you know that you can take whatever you're doing with your gas-powered equipment and figure out the amount of time you use it. Once you get a good idea what the runtime is with that Ego Power Plus equipment, whether you figure it out on your own by purchasing the equipment and coming up with the times yourself, or you borrow it from somebody else, or you get the recommendations and plug in somebody else's estimated times of what they consistently get with their equipment, you're going to be able to tell whether buying that piece of equipment and that size battery is going to be right for you and what you need to do, and make this a financially sound investment for you over the long haul. So let's say you use your equipment even more than that. Let's say you rack up 150 charge cycles a year on that one battery. That's still 5.3 years until you hit 800 charge cycles. So in case you haven't noticed here, these batteries from Ego, they are not what you're used to in your old school Black & Decker cordless drills and stuff like that. These are going to hold up for quite a while. And again, these are numbers just based at 800 charge cycles, that they expect you to get out of them. You go up to that 1,000 charge cycles, and it's going to jump these numbers here, your average years that this battery should last you, even higher. So just a reminder again, the numbers we were using there were based off of what it takes to use this equipment in our yard. Us using that carbon fiber shaft trimmer here on our property, that's where we were getting those numbers from. Your numbers will be a little bit different. But the other thing to remember is Ego says that these batteries are good for 800 to 1,000 charge cycles before you see that drop off in runtime. So that battery could last you even longer if you go past the 800 charge cycles and you plug in 1,000 instead of 800 into those equations. And the other important part of this is, even after that 800 to 1,000 charge cycles, again, the battery's not just going to stop and never work again. It's just going to have a shorter runtime. So if you were getting 45 minutes out of your 2.5 amp hour battery and your carbon fiber shaft trimmer, you could probably still get 20, 25 minutes out of it after you get past that 800 to 1,000 charge cycles. So that battery is still going to last you a little while longer yet. So it's not just like, oh, all right, well, I'm pretty sure I used this 800 times now, so time to just recycle it and be done with it. No, it's just going to keep working for you. It's still going to be valuable to your fleet of equipment. So hopefully this video here has helped you guys to see the kind of do's and don'ts of your batteries and how to charge them, how to care for them, and helped you to see why there is no exact answer as to how long a battery is going to last for you. Only you will know that based on what you're planning to do with it, based on your property, the conditions, and all those kind of things. There is no piece of equipment out there where you can walk in and to a dealership and say, hey, how long will this last me? And they're going to be able to tell you exactly how long it will definitely last you, because they have no idea what you're going to be using it for, how you're going to be using it, how you will maintain it, and things like that. So that's really up to you, the consumer, to kind of figure these things out ahead of time before you make that purchase. And hopefully this helps clear that up for you and makes your buying experience a little bit more confident. And if you would happen to have any other questions on Ego battery-powered equipment, you can always go to the Ego website. There's tons of information on there. You can download all the manuals for all the equipment, the batteries, the chargers, and all that stuff right off of that website. You can drop us some comments here, and we can try to answer them. Or there's even some groups now on Facebook, if you look into them, if you're on social media, and you can get help from other Ego battery-powered equipment owners or dealers on there. Really a great resource to use. I'm sure as this stuff keeps becoming more and more popular, you're going to see more stuff like that popping up, where everybody can help each other out with this stuff and answer questions and point you in the right direction when it comes to purchasing products. So again, any questions or any feedback, drop a comment below, and that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching.